Well, it's March 3rd. We got some crazy storms today. The wind's blowing hard. It stormed and poured hard earlier, and then it was gone and it was clear skies. Now we got some more clouds rolling in. It is windy. I mean windy. And we got them big trees up there. I'm scared one of them is going to fall. They're big. But Austin's supposed to come over and we're going to torque these main bolt or these rod bolts down. I did some more research, and on his particular block, 2007, it says 75. It says 15 pounds and then 75 degrees. So we're going to go with the 75 degrees, and then we're going to put the cam in, timing chain, and then the oil pump, and hopefully we'll go a little farther than that. All right, so we looked up this motor and it was 15 pounds and then 75 degrees. And then, so those are all torqued down. And I set a torque wrench to like 45 because that's about, they're 45 or 50 after that. I'm not sure. We didn't test it this time, but we put it at 45 and went back through and make sure we didn't miss any. And good thing we did, because we missed that one right there. So we had to back it off and do the 15 pounds and 75 degrees again. And the cam got dinged up just a little bit, so we're just gonna run some emery cloth over. That's good. Yeah, that'll work.
I think that's everything I've seen.
Oh yeah, you did good.
Anything that you can feel?
Yeah, that knocked out good. Yeah, just rub your finger over it as long as it's smooth.
I feel it, dude.
Yeah, that looks good. See, that was the worst one. He knocked it out pretty good. That should be fine. The way we wrap the emery cloth around there, it shouldn't hurt anything. So we're gonna lube that up and stab it in there. We probably should have changed cam bearings because they look pretty rough. But oh well.
It'll probably blow up anyways.
It is windy outside. Whoa! I'm waiting for one of them trees to fall on me. That made me jump.
That's loud.
I jumped and said, woo! That's a good one.
My foot is asleep.
Wake it up.
Alright, let's lube this thing up, get her in there.
And then we'll put the cam retaining plate on. We got a new one of those. And we'll Loctite the bolts on that. And then we'll put the oil pump on. We can put the timing chain on.
Yeah,
Actually, you can put the timing chain on before we put the oil pump on. Makes it a little bit easier to see the dot. That's where we're at. Alright, so there's two different types of cam retaining plates. There's some with the beveled edge, and you have to use the beveled screws with them. Well, I thought I had a cam retaining plate laying around here that had the flat bolt for the flat. That was flat, and those you use the regular bolts. You don't use the tapered bolts. But we're just cleaning off the surfaces. I'm gonna put another cam retaining plate in there, and then we'll do the cam gear, and then we'll do the oil pump. Just because it's easier to see the marks when the oil pump's off.
I think it's our turn.
Alright, we got the retaining plate in there. It had the beveled plate, so we used the beveled screws and we did Loctite them. And then we put our dot down on our crank. Now you got to try to put the cam sprocket.
I was getting an eyeball. That's pretty good, right?
You got to put the cam sprocket and the chain on at the same time. It can be a little tricky to get the dots lined up and get it. I usually, and you'll know you're on top dead center when this faces this direction, which the motor's upside down, but it's kind of tricky to get the sprocket on the dowel pin and lined up at the same time. But these LS chains are so loose, it ain't as hard. On a small block Chevy where the chains are tight, it's really hard.
There it is.
And then there we go. Dot.
Winner, winner, chicken
I guess
dinner.
that marks the dot on this one. Are you sure?
I don't know. Let's double check.
But anyway, you gotta go dot to dot. But I'm not sure if that's the dot or not, because usually there's just a dot on the teeth.
Yeah, here I never.
So that is the dot, but usually the dot I've seen looks like that. But it's here, so we just matched up where the pin is. See? And then you'll notice that's got that on there. I'm pretty sure that timing chain is for the cam sensor in the front of the motor. But that motor, it's a 2007, it didn't have it there, but that's the sprocket for the cam sensor in front of the motor, because it reads that. See, this is one where the cam sensor don't go in front of the motor, but we're going to use the one that came out of it regardless. So that was the dot, so it looks like that, or it looks like that. And that's the size difference between his old turbo. That's not his old turbo, that's
Same thing.
the one he gave me, but it's the same thing. And then his new turbo. Look at that. There's a huge difference.
See, guys, I'll take care of him when he was fussing me all the time.
Austin likes to lose stuff. Leave tools laying around, so I gotta mess with him. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. 18 pounds on the cam retaining plate and 22 pounds on the camshafts sprocket.
I actually done 24.
And then there we are, dot to dot. It's not perfect, but if you turn the motor a little, it would be. Now we're going to put the oil pump on. That looks like a brand new one over there that came off Brandon's old motor before, but I guess he bought a new one. And that one looks brand new, and it looks like a factory pump. So we're going to open that one up, make sure there's nothing inside of it, and put it on. All right, we put the oil pump on. There's a passageway right here. It lines up. And then your motor's upside down. Your old pickup goes on this side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put these bolts on just finger tight. And you'll notice this moves around, see? So before we tighten it down, we need to make sure. We're going to clean this out too, because Brandon had some spun bearings. We want to make sure it's nice and clean inside. All right, and there's what the inside looks like. So I'm gonna get some filler gauges. I'm gonna either use a 2 and a 3 or a 3 and a 4 to make sure this is nice and straight. And then we'll torque, Loctite and torque these bolts down to 18 pounds. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when you put these oil pumps on, you gotta line these gears up with those gears on the crank and slide it on there. Then put your bolts in. I couldn't even get the filler gauges in that one, so I'm gonna try this one. This is the one that come off this motor. So there we go. I was able to get it in that one much easier, but I put a 2/1000 filler gauge, and I kind of just took it like this and slid it in there from here all the way down to here, and then I did a 3/1000 up here. And that's it. Now I'll take these bolts out and Loctite them, put them back in them. So you'll notice now it don't move around. See, it moved around a lot before. And that's the way I do it. Some people will take a bunch of filler gauges and put them all around here. And then some people even put them in here, but if this outer part's right, then the inner part's gonna be right. I mean, just the way it's going to go. But that one's not strong enough to, yeah, see. But the way I see it is, if this outer, see this right, if this spins and these spin together, and that's what this kind of meshes together and pumps the oil. It's kind of like a pump in a transmission, automatic transmission. But yeah, that's how it works. But if this one is correct, then this one has to be correct. So I just put a 2/1000 here and a 3/1000 here, reaching over the gap all the way across, and then all the way across down the bottom here. And then this 15 thousandths goes all the way around where the filler gauge ain't. So yeah, that's good. Take these bolts out, put some Loctite in them, put them back in, torque them to 18 pounds, and then I'll put these bolts back in, Loctite those, and torque those down. Alright, and then after you get these Loctited and torqued down, they're supposed to be 18 pounds. I'll put them at 22. Pull your filler gauges out. Might have to get some needle nose to get a hold of that one. So now it's all tightened down. I just double checked to make sure it had the spacing around the crankshaft there, and it does. Like I said, if this outer one is set right, this one's got to be set right. So I just did a 2 thousandths on one side and a 3 thousandths, and I just slid the filler gauge like all the way back in there, just like that. And then I just slid it all the way back. I made sure that it got on this part too. It's kind of tricky to get it in that part. Or there it goes. See, it goes in that part, and then down here at the bottom, I just put the filler gauge. That's the 3 thousandths. We use the 2 thousandths there. Let me find that. Not that one. It's this one. I can tell just by feeling. See? Nope. Got the camera off. See, and then I slid the other filler gauge in from this side and just did it to where the filler gauge covers this half, and then this part and this part, and that's it. A 2 or 3 thousandths here, a 2 or 3 thousandths there, across to this part, and that sets it all. Put your Loctite on your bolts and tighten it up. Now we can take these out, and then we can go ahead and put our plate on. I think those go to like 18 pounds. And then we'll go ahead and torque those down. And this plate, it'll only go on one way. The bolts are just separated to where it really won't go on any other way. So we'll put that on. Alright, it's all torqued down, and I just tightened it lightly with a wrench, and then I did 18 pounds in like a crisscross pattern. But yeah, that'll do that. Unfortunately, our rebuild kit did not come with a oil pump, oil pickup seal. So we're gonna have to go get one of those. Austin went home and he took the windage tray with him. We're going to have to take a truck windage tray and cut that off, but the windage tray needs to go on next, and he has to cut that to make it, cut it like an LS1 windage tray, because in shorter pans the windage tray won't fit in the front, so it's got to be cut across like right in, yeah, right in here somewhere, because there's just not enough room under with the LS pan to fit under there. See, this pan right here, see that indent? That actually comes right up on the rod 1 and 2, and that's a truck hole pan. See how much room is there? So the windage tray, use a truck one, you got to cut it, yeah, like that. See, it goes right up to the 4th bolt and then stops, which would be right here, because the pan ain't deep enough to clear these right here. So we need to put the windage tray on next, then get a seal for the oil pickup tube, and then put the oil pickup tube on. When you put the oil pickup tube on and the windage tray, remember those are the locking top nuts. There's some around here somewhere. I don't got any right handy to show you, but they're locking top nuts that go on here. And that's going to conclude this video. And when he gets the windage tray back, We'll go get a oil pump pickup tube, the correct one. There is a couple of different versions that you use. We'll get the correct one. We'll put that on there. And my old pickup tube had 2 bolts. They make a bracket that'll go on here. For the stock ones, it's only got 1 bolt, and that is a good idea to get it. But he didn't get one, so we'll just use the 1 bolt one. And definitely Loctite that bolt too. That's gonna do it, guys. This is the strong. I'm going on 48 years old, and this is the strongest wind that I've ever seen constantly like this. I mean, it's been doing it for like 5 hours straight. It's one of them big trees outside. It's swaying the trunk, so I hope that don't pull out of the ground, because if it does, it could fall on the cars, the house. And see, that was just the electric. See, the electric's flashing off and on. I don't know if y'all can see that in the video or not, but we'll get some more videos on this. Y'all like and subscribe and have a great day. Hopefully y'all ain't in the worst part of this storm, because it's pretty bad. If you are, I hope everything pans out for you.